My name is Anna. I am 35 years old. My husband's name is Michael, and he is 52. We have been married for 16 years. We have 2 daughters. Our first daughter is 14 years old, and our second daughter is only 2. We lived a simple life. Michael went to work every day, and I stayed home. I cooked, cleaned, and cared for the children. I believed we were happy. I believed Michael loved me, but everything changed. One day, I found out something terrible. Michael had a girlfriend. When I first heard it, I refused to believe it. I thought, not my husband, not Michael. We have been together for so many years. But deep in my heart, I knew something was wrong. He came home late. He spent more time on his phone. He smiled at messages I could not see. I asked him directly, "Michael, is it true? Do you have a girlfriend?" His eyes grew hard. His voice was sharp. "You are making a problem for no reason," he said, but his anger only told me the truth. One night, when he was sleeping, I picked up his phone. My hands were shaking. I was afraid, but I needed answers. He woke up and caught me. "Why are you checking my phone?" he shouted. "You have no right." I froze. My heart pounded, but I could not stop. Later, I checked his phone bill. I saw a number he called every day. I dialed it. A woman answered. She was calm, almost cold. "Yes, I know Michael," she said. "Yes, I am his girlfriend." My throat closed. I could barely breathe. She told me she was my age, also married, with a daughter. She laughed a little and said, "It's not my problem if my husband finds out." I felt dizzy. I ended the call. I confronted Michael again. "I know the truth," I whispered, but he only grew angrier. "I will end it when I want. You cannot tell me what to do." Tears filled my eyes. I thought back to our early years, our wedding day, when he held my hand and said he would love me forever. The nights we stayed up late talking, the day our first daughter was born, and he smiled at her tiny face. But now that same man stood before me, cold and cruel. This was not the first time. Long ago, after our first daughter was born, he cheated. I forgave him then. I thought it would never happen again, but now, with our second daughter, it was happening once more. I stayed at home. I had no salary. The apartment was in my name, but the loan was heavy. Michael wanted it this way. If he left, the debt would still be on me. I felt trapped. Soon the small child benefit would stop, and we needed Michael's income. He knew this. He used it as power. He told me one night, with a cruel smile, "I can do whatever I want, even have another girlfriend if I like." I felt pain in my chest. I felt helpless. Our eldest daughter noticed too. She stood in front of him once and said, "Dad, this is wrong. Please stop." But Michael shouted at her, using harsh words no father should say. She ran to her room crying. He was not only breaking me, he was breaking our children too. Soon, he stopped coming home at night. "I'm working late," he said, but I knew the truth. I sat awake in the dark, listening to the clock tick. Every car that passed made me hope he was home, but the hours stretched empty. In the morning, he returned angry. "Stop asking me questions," he shouted angrily. "I'm tired of this." Another day, he told me, "I want to go on a trip. Can we go together?" I asked softly. "No," he said. "I want to go alone." I felt very sad. Then I noticed the money. We had less every month. I checked our bank account. He was spending on restaurants, gifts, hotels. Not for me, not for the children, for her. I worried about bills. I worried about food. He did not care. He only cared about his girlfriend. Stress ate me alive. I could not sleep. I could not eat. I felt weak. My doctor said, "You need rest." But how could I rest? My husband was destroying my family. Our eldest daughter grew quiet. She no longer laughed with her friends. She carried shame on her shoulders, though it was not hers to carry. She avoided people. She cried at night. Our baby daughter was too small to understand, but I looked at her face and thought, what kind of life will she grow up in? I told my best friend everything. She said, "Maybe you should leave him," but I felt trapped. No job, 2 children, alone. My family told me to be patient. Maybe he will change, they said, but in my heart, I was afraid he never would. Still, I loved him. Even after everything, I wanted him back. I prayed he would remember our family. One evening, I cooked dinner and waited. Hours passed. Finally, Michael came home. His face was serious. His eyes did not soften when he saw me. "We need to talk," he said. My hands trembled. "What is it?" I asked. "I don't love you anymore." The words hit like knives. I still hoped he might change, but his face told me it was over. "So what now?" My voice broke. "I'm leaving." He packed his bags while I sat frozen on the sofa. Tears rolled down my cheeks, but I did not stop them. He took his clothes, his books, his watch. Our daughters clung to him. "Dad, don't go," they cried. He hugged them, kissed their foreheads, and said, "I'm sorry." Then he turned away. The door closed behind him. I heard his car drive away. Silence filled the house. I cried until my whole body ached. The next morning, his side of the bed was empty. I pretended to smile for my children, but inside I was shattered. Sometimes I picked up my phone, wanting to call him, but I stopped. I knew where he was. One afternoon, I walked past a cafe. Through the window, I saw him. Michael. He was sitting with her. She was beautiful. He looked happy, happier than he had in years with me. My knees felt weak. I turned and walked away. Tears blurred my eyes. At home, I locked the door. I sat on the floor and cried until no tears were left. He was gone. Truly gone. That night, I looked at my daughters while they slept. I touched their hair and whispered, "I will be strong for you." The next morning, I slipped off my wedding ring. I made breakfast. I drank coffee by the window. The pain was still sharp. It would last for a long time, but I knew one thing. Michael had left me, but I was still here, and for my daughters, I would survive.